Welcome to the Navigating Dental Insurance Podcast, where we don't take from insurance companies. Here are your hosts, Mr. Jordan Comstock and Mr. Ben Tuine.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Navigating Dental Insurance Podcast, the Say No to PPOs series. I'm your co-host, Jordan Comstock. I got my good friend and co-host, Ben Tuine, on the line. Ben, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Jordan? How you doing?
Good. It's been a while since we've been on the show together. It's been like one or the other.
It's been several weeks, but interesting developments with this weather. It's snowing in Corpus Christi, but not an ounce of snow here in Utah. Well, at least where we're at in Utah. Do you have any snow in your front yard, Jordan, or backyard?
No, not where I am.
It's cold enough, but it doesn't feel like winter. Everything is dead.
Doesn't. It's kind of nice. And I just came from California at 75-degree weather, and then I came I left before it got really cold, and then I came back when it was like 28 degrees, and I'm like, really? Yeah. This is what I come to, 75-degree weather. So I don't know why I live here, Ben, but it's I guess it's still a pretty good place to be despite the weather and the snow.
I live here for the winter because the winters aren't that bad. You get pretty snow during the wintertime, and it's not really on the roads all the time like it is in Chicago or the Midwest.
Yeah, that's true.
But this was
a baby.
I might relocate. There's no snow. I mean, it's just looking at the mountains right now, Timpanogos and Point of the Mountain. No snow. Kind of lame. Snow. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. The skiers and snowboarders are probably sad right now. All right, today we have an awesome guest on our show. Her name is Lois Banta from Banta Dental Consulting, and Lois she's the CEO, president, and founder of Banta Consulting, and she was from terrified dental patient to popular international speaker and dental consultant. Lois has been involved in dentistry for more than 30 years. Lois, how are you doing today?
I'm great. It's so fun to hear you guys talking about the weather because I just come back from Coco Plum Island off the coast of Belize. I was doing a visit for a retreat business that I have, and nice. The weather was about an average of 83 degrees. It was then coming home to Kansas City. We also have no snow, and it was 19 degrees.
Isn't that so sad? It's like, come on. Degrees. I mean, it's kind of nice not having to shovel the snow. Like, when was it?
I'm gonna say that, yeah.
It snowed here either earlier this week or the late last week, and I have a huge driveway. My driveway is over 4,000 square feet, and I was thinking about getting a four-wheeler and just putting an attachment on the front just to push the snow off.
My husband has a digger. I call it a digger. It's a uniloader. So when it snows here, he can plow our long driveway in about 5 minutes.
You see, that's the way to do it. But I was kind of happy that I didn't have to do it.
I still use a shovel. I'm like a caveman.
You gotta update with the times,
I know.
So Lois, I'm curious to know, from terrified dental patient, I have the same exact start in dentistry. I'm going to tell you my story, and then you tell me yours.
Okay.
So my uncle's a dentist. He went to dental school in Australia, and in the islands. I'm from a small island called American Samoa, and they ship all the dental supplies once every 2 to 3 months. And it takes about 6 months. You go in for your first examination. First, they schedule to do an exam at 8 a.m. They schedule everybody. So you have 200 people that are there at 8 o'clock in the morning for an 8 o'clock exam. I don't get seen till 4 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
Talk about people that need practice management help. That group needs some big time. Anyway, I don't get seen till 4 o'clock. And my uncle examines. He says, "Man, you need like 30 cavities, man. You got to brush your teeth, son." So
30
sends me home and schedules an appointment 3 months out. That's the soonest he can see me.
Wow.
Mind you, this is universal health care. This is an island where healthcare is paid for by the government, most of it. So I come back 3 months, and he says, "Ben, same thing happened. I get there at 8 a.m. I don't get seen till about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon." He says, "Ben, we're rescheduling everybody that needs any type of care that, fillings, extractions, things like that, except for you because you're a family member. And I think if I don't do this now, you're going to end up with a bunch of root canals and all this and all that, maybe some extractions down the road. So let's try to save your teeth. But I don't have any lidocaine. I ran out.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what's lidocaine? He's like, you're a strong boy, right? Here he is trying to psych me up. What? He's like, you're a strong boy, right? You tackle those coconut trees, you tackle those banana trees. You're getting ready to be a big football player. You can do this. Just sit down, shut up, and let me do my work. So I sit down, and I shut up.
Oh, dude.
And he starts drilling. And all I remember is the most excruciating pain ever. And, I'm not like most patients. Most patients, they have a bad experience in the dental office. They experience some type of pain. I learned to love and embrace the dental industry, even with that experience, because, my uncle, he did that, and he probably saved more than half of my teeth because I had terrible teeth back then. I didn't know. I mean, making a toothbrush out of coconut husk, basically, for some of us that were lazy and didn't want to go buy a toothbrush, but that's kind of my experience. What was your terrified dental experience that got you started on a long path to being an international speaker and dental consultant?
Well, I as a child, with 4 brothers and sisters who terrorized me about going to the dentist when I was 6. I grew up in a real poor family, and you didn't go to the dentist unless you had a tooth that was hurting. It just wasn't a primary focus. And so I learned at a very young age, and my mom tried to make me go to the dentist, and she said, Lois, if you don't go to the dentist to get this tooth fixed, I lost all my teeth when I was very young. I think she was 18, to pyorrhea, and that sounded even worse. So it made me more fearful of going to the dentist. So I avoided at all costs going to the dentist, and consequently ended up with tons of cavities. And finally, when I was in high school, I had a toothache and on a front tooth, and I went to a dentist who had just gotten out of dental school, and this was back in the mid-'70s, and he learned new techniques about administering anesthetic, etc., and he did painless dentistry on me, and I couldn't believe that it didn't hurt to go to the dentist. And he made me a fan, and he hired me part-time in high school just to file charts and answer the phone, etc. And I learned a little bit about the dental industry back then and just put it in the back of my brain, went off to college, got out of college, thought, hey, great natural transition would be to go back and work in a dental office. So I saw an ad for a dental assistant and I applied for the ad. I thought, I'm going to be a dental assistant. How hard could that be, right?
Yeah.
Turns out, when you faint at the sight of blood, it's pretty hard.
That's Jordan. That's to this day, that's totally Jordan.
So I passed out 3 times, and finally, this group of 3 brothers who had hired me, they didn't fire me. I should have been fired, guys, and they didn't. They walked me up to the front desk. I will say I graduated to the job that I can't believe someone paid me to do, and found my love of dentistry on the business side. And that transformed over working for 4 different dental practices in my 25 years of working in dental offices to going to help my boss's friends, teams learn how to get the results that I was getting. And I became a specialist when I started my consulting career on how to roll up my sleeves, find the lost insurance money on the books, get it off the books, and get it in the bank. And that's what birthed my consulting career. I didn't set out to be a speaker or a writer, or I just wanted to be a consultant. I wanted to work one-on-one. And of course, in the last 22 years, I've become an international speaker, and I've actually consulted nationally as far away as Indonesia and lectured in Australia, interestingly enough. So,
wow,
so cool.
I love what I do. I've published a book on what I do, and now I'm just signed an agreement.
What's your book called?
The first book is called The Secrets to Practice Success. And the second book, I don't have a title for yet. I literally 2 weeks ago just signed the agreement to write this. It's my legacy. It's going to be a book about building your roadmap for success on the business side of dentistry. And I don't know what the title is going to be yet. So audience, I'm looking for ideas. It'll be a 12-chapter book. It's really exciting and scary at the same time. So it will be available. That one will be available on Amazon. It'll be in ebook, and my goal is to also have it as an audiobook.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. both Ben and I want to write more books. It's always been one of my goals. It looks like you also contribute to a lot of the industry magazines and like Dentistry Today and Dental Economics. Are you still doing a lot of that?
I'm not as many articles for the many journals out there. I'm doing a lot of podcasts and webcasts and webinars.
Oh, cool.
Online interviews like this one is my favorite way to write articles now, is to be interviewed and to really dive into what's popular in the subject matter. And if I can lend my area of expertise, the creative juices flow when someone interviews me, and I get very passionate very fast, as you will witness.
So part of your resume here, the Speaker Consulting Network, I see here since 2010. You're listed as the owner of that. Is that right?
That's right. When I started my career, I actually called Linda Miles, who's an international icon in the industry, for a job. And she said she had just founded the Speaking Consulting Network. And she said, Lois, I think you need to start your own career. After she had spent an hour talking to me on the phone, she said, you need to be the insurance detective for the dental industry. And so I said, okay. So I went to that conference in 98 while I was still working full-time in a dental office. And fast forward in 2010, I mean, it had reached pretty good success by then. When Linda decided to slow down, she sold her consulting and publishing division to Dr. Rhonda Savage, and I bought the Speaking Consulting Network, and I've owned it since 2010. Cool. And it has grown exponentially since I started, since I've owned it, and changed things up a little bit by doing a lot more online mastermind sessions and our annual conference and our Facebook presence and our website presence. And really that now has evolved into a networking organization where you check your ego at the door and you come to learn from the best and network with the best and grow your business to the success that you dream it could be. So we've had some really amazing stories come out of that SCN organization. Now people have become known in the speaking and writing industry and developed a very, very high-end professional consulting career. So I'm very, very proud.
That's awesome. So insurance detective. Cool. Yeah, I want to talk more about that.
Yeah.
So with putting on your insurance detective hat, what are some of the more common issues that you're seeing with insurance these days?
Well, the industry has, the insurance industry has been around probably for more than 45 years. And initially the insurance benefits were designed to help patients cover the cost of dentistry. It was meant as a kind of a way to help them have dentistry be less costly. And so back in the day when someone had $1,000 maximum, it covered, almost full mouth dentistry. And so the industry learned an unfortunate technique in taking all the responsibility for the knowledge of someone's dental benefits on their shoulders. So when they verified benefits at the insurance company and they talked to an overworked, overwhelmed, underpaid, and inexperienced insurance representative, they were delivering the information that was shared with them, sometimes by very inaccurate, unfortunate deliver of information. They were relaying that information to the patients, who were now relying on the dental practice and not their insurance company for the accuracy and for the benefits. So when something went wrong, they blamed the dental office. Well, you told me my insurance would cover this, when they called to verify benefits and the insurance company maybe failed to mention there's a 12-month waiting period on that crown or that scaling and rip planing. And by the way, maximums haven't changed much in those 45 years. They haven't. Yeah. They have remained the same, and the deductibles have remained the same, but crown fees have changed. So now what used to cover full mouth dentistry can cover your basic needs, basic preventative, basic, sometimes a percentage of your restorative dentistry. And when it gets into the more costly crown, bridge, root canal, partial denture, implant, you're maxed out your benefits with the very first appointment.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, yeah. It's crazy how that's kind of evolved over the years. It sounds like part of what you're saying is that accepting assignment of benefit was one of the biggest mistakes in medicine in general. I speak to a bunch of physicians that I know, and they think that accepting assignment of benefit years and years and years ago, taking on the responsibility of educating the patients about their insurance and relaying that information to them, was a big mistake. So
it's not even that. It's the accepting assignment of benefit. I don't even have a problem with accepting assignment of benefit as long as you don't accept responsibility for the outcome of that benefit. As long as you, the biggest downfall in our industry regarding dental benefits right now is not talking to our patients properly about what they can expect, how they can be your most best secret, don't you love my English? Your best secret weapon. So if they get involved in taking action on regarding their own benefits with their employer or with their insurance company, the insurance company is obligated to the employee patient. They are not obligated to the dental office. In fact, they are under no obligation to have the first conversation. Even if the dental office is contracted with a plan, the only thing that dentist signed in a contractual agreement for being in-network is that they've agreed to lower their fee. It doesn't guarantee that they're going to have a higher availability to talk to someone at the insurance company or that the insurance company will pay the claim no matter what. Nothing changes about that. The only thing that they've signed an agreement to do is lower their fee. And so the insurance company tells them you're going to get a lot of patients. Yes, you are, but you're going to write off a good portion of your fee. Do that. So you have to really make an informed decision when you're signing to be in network. And there's a big mess on that going on in our industry.
Yeah. The problem is offices accept assignment of benefit, but they're accepting responsibility. They think that it's now our responsibility to teach patients, give patients their benefits. We're going to get it from insurance, and then we're going to give it to the patient. And then going back to what you said in the beginning, when a mistake is made, you bill the claim and it doesn't get covered. Who's the bad guy?
Right. Yeah. And then they're under the mistaken assumption they have to write it off if it's not a covered benefit. And that is not true in most cases.
Yeah. So how do you fix that mentality? It just seems like a mentality that is taking over the dental industry. Dental practices being viewed as the insurance company, as one and the same, to the patient.
It starts in the office with proper communication skills. A lot of the misconceptions can be fixed if the dental office becomes better informed about what they can take responsibility for. They should take responsibility for offering the quality dentistry to the patient. They absolutely should take the responsibility for the legal and the ethics operation of a dental business. They should educate the patients about their responsibility and the things that the patients have a right to. I teach things in communication skills to say to the patient as a courtesy. As a courtesy, we're going to help you uncover the mystery about your benefits. As a courtesy, we're going to help you discover what your estimated out-of-pocket is going to be. In our industry, we are not teaching and training our dental team members how to properly use the right communication skills. And so then there's a misconception about how you communicate to the patient, which breeds a perception from the patient that it's the dental office's fault when their benefits fall through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me crazy.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it just rips my hair out. It's like, we have a vast clientele of doctors around there, and they send us complaints every single day. It's like, these patients are so mad at us because this, and that. It's like, do you realize that it's not your responsibility to administer dental insurance? I mean, no. It's your responsibility to provide quality care. Right. But it seems like the biggest confusion out there is how do we separate ourselves from owning the insurance benefit? Because that's, patients look at you and they think you own the insurance benefit.
Right. And it starts with the dental office and the team communicating to the patient the kind of dentistry that would be in their best interest, answering questions about the dentistry. And when the patient overrides you and all of a sudden, for lack of a better word, trumps in with the objection of, I only want what my insurance covers, or does my insurance cover that? If you sass the patient back by saying, hey, not my job, that's your job to know that, you're going to lose the patient. So what I teach is you have to help the patient understand the responsibilities and use an enormous amount of compassion in feelings and emotions for the patient to help them understand that, number one, you didn't invent their insurance plan. Number two, you want them to have the best dentistry available. Number three, you want them to use every last penny of the available dental benefits, but you can't take responsibility for the outcome of a claim. It is not, if you translated that to a dental office saying to the patient, well, we're only going to do the dentistry that's covered by your insurance, that will be malpractice, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. The dental office repeatedly, when I go into client offices, they repeatedly say, let's call your insurance and see if they'll cover x-rays twice a year. Let's call the insurance company to see if you have any benefits left on your maximum. Why not have a discussion of treatment and what's in the best interest of the patient first, and then as a third discussion point, oh, and you have a dental benefit that helps you with some of the cost of your dentistry. Let's see what they have available to offset some of your financial responsibility. Having dental benefits today is like going to the furniture store and getting a rebate on the furniture you just bought. It's no longer that be all end all cover everything. And we have taught our patients to rely on insurance for the decision to move forward with dentistry, and we have to change the discussion. That's what we are in an urgent need to do, is we have to change the discussion. And you can do it, because I've seen my clients have great successes at teaching the patients to want their dentistry more than just use their insurance benefits.
Yeah. I like that.
I agree.
I think there's more that can be done in educating practices, as you probably know. But I have about insurance in general. Quick question, because you do this internationally. Do other countries experience the same problems as we do here in the U.S. with dental insurance?
Yeah.
They do experience some level of insurance frustration, but not on the level of the U.S. I lecture in Canada and Australia, and Canada mostly. In fact, I have 2 lectures next year in Canada, and my topic of my lectures is never about insurance. It's about communication, because they just don't consider it. They scratch their heads at the U.S. like, oh, why are you focusing so much on this thing? But they have that universal coverage, and they don't have to. You know, the government kicks in X number of dollars, and they just find out how many dollars are available, and the patient's out of pocket. There's no pre-estimate spent. There's no, I'm only going to do what insurance covers discussions. The discussion is really about what the patient's going to get in dentistry. However, just like you guys said, they have to wait months and months and months for their dental care.
Oh,
because there's no equipment available. So there are upsides, and there are also downsides. And I don't want to be in a culture where I have to wait months and months and months to be seen because my insurance carrier or my government says you've reached your maximum for the number of patients you can see that has that particular benefit. I don't like that either. That's a different form of dictating how often or when and where I can have my dentistry done. I want a free system.
Yeah.
And not mean free dollar sign free.
I agree with you.
I agree with that too.
Party interfering with my patient's decision to have their dentistry done. And we've designed and developed into a scarcity mentality in this country regarding benefits, because if they're out of benefits, and the patient immediately goes to, I'm going to wait till my benefits renew. So I've started teaching on the communication and documentation side for the patient to sign off on. They know what they're signing off on, because it's a free country. People can decide not to move ahead with their dentistry till their insurance benefits kick back in. However, they have to know the possible consequences for waiting. They might need a root canal. They might need a crown instead of a filling. And so I'm never okay with the patient waiting because of insurance, but we created that culture. We have to unring the bell.
Yeah.
I agree.
I know Jordan has a question he wants to chime in on, but I just want to tell you a quick story. So I haven't had dental insurance since I used to work for Maricopa
I've
County.
never had dental insurance.
Yeah. And
entrepreneurs, that's where that goes.
Even from the beginning, I never thought, why am I paying for this benefit? Like, I don't, as a young adult,
I know,
it's just like, why am I going to, I'd rather go in and ask for a discount or do a membership plan, work directly with a dentist. And as I start to get to know dental insurance in the mid 2000s as a professional, I was 100% convinced that dental insurance for me and my family wasn't in my best interest. We didn't want that to be a distraction with the type of treatment or any treatment in general. So we've been fee-for-service for years, and as a result, we've been, we see many dentists. We don't really have a home per se just yet. There are a few dentists that we know that we can go to if we need a big problem, but never had a big problem at all. The problem is that we used to see some dental practices close to us. We'd rotate through them, And we tell them, we're 100% fee for service, and we don't ask for discounts initially unless they offer them. But the problem that I saw is that we were treated just like the other PPO patients. My son goes in, he gets his cleaning done by an assistant. My wife goes in, she gets her cleaning done by an assistant. I go in, I get my cleaning done by an assistant, not a hygienist. Sometimes a hygienist comes in. Yeah. And
sounds weird.
And for the most part, we're healthy mouth. We're just pro-fee patients. We don't need fillings, we don't need crowns, but we're paying $300 per cleaning. When you contrast that with insurance, at these same practices, they get paid $130 for the exam, pano, and pro-fee. They get $130. That's in this state. That's the combination of payments they get from most insurance companies. We're paying $300, and yet we are still giving the same PPO treatment. It's frustrating because it seems to me that this is not for all practices. These are for some practices that we know of that we thought were extremely high in terms of quality, and they are. But this whole thing about PPO, squeezing the dollar, if you will, and finding ways to be more resourceful, impacting fee-for-service patients who are paying you your full fee. I just think, practices need to get away from that. And I did talk to the doctors about that. I said, look, we paid. I'm not here to rip on you, but just to let you know, roll out the red carpet for us, man. We're paying double what the rest of your patients are paying, and yet you're giving us the same treatment that everybody else gets.
Guys, if they did that, that's discrimination. You can't discriminate against a PPO patient. It's not technically it's not legal to do that. And so you have, seek out a fee-for-service practice. That would be my advice to anyone who wants that red carpet treatment, because they are going to roll out the red carpet if they're not contracted with any plans.
And we've been doing that, and it's been so tough to find a truly fee-for-service practice.
It is tough.
Especially in Utah, Ben.
Yeah, I know. It's all over the country. It's more difficult. But I had a practice that I consulted with in Washington, D.C., right outside the Pentagon. And I went to teach them communication skills. And this practice, by design, doesn't even accept assignment of benefit. They are not contracted with any plans. They don't accept assignment of benefit. They charge a very premium fee. They roll out the red carpet, and they have a waiting list of patients.
See, to me, that's I mean, that's a niche.
The dentist wants to. They want to not discriminate. They want to be able to offer that quality care, and they feel like the only way they can keep their doors open is if they contract with these insurance plans. And the thing that they need to realize is do the math. I have an analysis spreadsheet on insurance.
Oh, I love it.
And it's the reason I designed and developed it is to help dental offices stay informed about what they're signing up for. I'm not anti-PPO. I am pro-practice. So if you're going to contract with these plans, know how many patients will be on the plan, how many dollars in production compared with your overall gross production, collections, what are you adjusting off, and compare that with your production. So what's your adjustment percentage? Then the math will reveal itself which ones are costing the practice. The thing that dental offices think they can jump to is, well, I'm just going to do more dentistry in less time. I'm going to have the assistant do the pro fee. I'm going to send my crowns to the labs in China. I'm going to pay McDonald's wages, and I'm gonna run a lean, mean machine, which is great. But what you don't realize is the more patients you see in less time, it increases your overhead, and gross production that drives your overhead. So your overhead's actually going up, and then net collections, which is your collectible amount, gross production minus your adjustments, is net production. So your net collections, that's what's paying the bills. Your gross production's driving the overhead, but the net collection's paying the bills. And so I get calls from dentists saying, hey, I'm producing $2 million a year. Why do I not have enough money in my checkbook to pay myself at the end of the month? Well, because you're giving it all back to the insurance company. So know what you sign up for. Negotiate your contract. Don't sign a contract that says, now you guys got me on a soapbox. Don't
keep going.
Contract that says,
this is good.
That network. Because if you sign for ABC Insurance Network, you just signed an agreement to be a provider for about 25 other insurance companies.
Oh, boy.
And they don't explain that to the dentist. So all of a sudden, they get these insurance checks where it says you're required to write off more money, and you just signed up with ABC Insurance. You didn't realize you were signing up with XYZ, QRS, and all these other ones. And that's
ridiculous.
Make an informed decision, people. Know what you're signing up for so that you know what you're going to take a hit on.
Know your numbers, and I mean, if you do the math like Lois says, you'll find that marketing costs, I guess, if you categorize joining a PPO as a marketing expense, which technically it could be considered that, it's very, very, very expensive marketing, if that makes any sense there.
I did an analysis for a dentist one time where he was writing off, he was producing, this was more than 10 years ago, he was producing like $1.5 million a year. And he didn't know how much he was writing off because he was just counting the net production. He wasn't counting the gross production and the adjustments.
Oh, boy.
So it was head in the sand. He had no idea how many dollars he was losing. Once we did the math, and I did this analysis spreadsheet, he was writing off 40% of that $1.5 million. So he was collecting, on that net production. Well, he opted out of all but 2 in-network agreements, and he lost $500,000 in gross production, which scared the bejeebies out of him and me. But when we did the math, he actually put $60,000 more in the bank, losing that production. So do the math on that. Make sure that you know what you're signing up for. If you're going to do it, make sure that you know that you've just made a deal that might not be in your best interest.
Absolutely, yeah. So know what you're signing up for. That's great advice. I have a quick question for you, Lois. How do you advise practices to handle claim denials?
Well, it depends. That's a very open-ended question because it depends on the reason for the denial. And there are lots of creative reasons for denials now out there. If the denial is for the reason of we don't see proof of need for the dentistry, which is the most common denial, that's the dental practice's fault, unfortunately. That means that they didn't supply the proof. If they're doing a buildup, they better be willing to prove that more than 50% of the tooth structure was involved that qualified the need for the buildup. If an X-ray is two-dimensional, it's not proof of why the dentistry was needed. The best proof of why the dentistry was needed on a cracked tooth is an intraoral image with the light shining on the cracked tooth. That's a neon sign. But a lot of dental offices, to put a crown on a cracked tooth, they're sending the X-ray. Well, you can see you can see a cracked tooth on an X-ray. That's just plain silly. I can't understand why you would do that. Scaling and replaning, gum disease. Gum disease happens around a 3-dimensional tooth, not just on an X-ray. And so those practices that are sending the full mouth survey without the detailed information about the periodontal disease and the classification of their periodontal condition and detailed notes, that's what will help you get a claim, not get a claim denied. Insurance companies are in the business to make money. The minute they deny, they hold on to the money. They make thousands of dollars in interest every day. They hold on to that money. So sometimes those denials are for the purposes, that's my opinion, by the way, I don't have common knowledge of that. It seems like the denial is up for the purposes to be able to hold on to the money longer so they can put more money in the bank at the insurance company.
You're correct there.
You're right.
Yeah.
Proper obnoxious detail is the best way to prevent a denial. Obnoxious detail.
I like that. Tell us here quickly, I know we're kind of coming up on our time, but tell us one of your success stories in terms of turning a practice around, perhaps one that may have been dealing with a bunch of insurance problems or insurance mentality, and you were able to take them and whip them back into shape.
Well, one of my best stories is one of the ones I just told you about helping a practice transition out of insurance. But my other success stories are when I've gone in to teach people how to say something differently. All of a sudden, the treatment acceptance can triple when you help a patient truly understand how their benefits work. So I teach the communication skills on the side of as a courtesy, we'll file an insurance claim. If insurance pays less than we've estimated, we'll send you a final statement. We will gladly write a detailed note to your insurance company that is designed not to cover this benefit for this bridge, but you need 2 crowns on the abutment anchor T. So we're going to write a note to the insurance company. So the feedback that I'm getting, one of my best success stories was a practice in Atlanta that was based on not just treatment acceptance, but their increase in collections. Their increase in collections, because they changed how they say what they say to the patient regarding monies owed, estimated insurance benefits, tracking claims, etc., increased 400% in 1 month because they said what they said to their patients differently. They changed. You can change your trajectory in increasing your collections by helping the patient own the responsibility more effectively. So now what has become one of my specialties is helping practices change the culture of insurance discussions in their practice. And the proof now is in seeing an increase in collections. And most of my clients now, by way of sending electronic claims and electronic attachments, have 0 claims over 60 days old now. 0 claims.
Wow.
So
wow.
The big claim to fame, the trackable thing, is when you can see collections increase and outstanding claims decrease, you know your in-office communication has improved that situation. Yeah. It is. It's not about spending. It's not about hiring an insurance representative in your practice that sits behind the closed doors and that's all she does or he does is call insurance companies for benefits, etc. It's about changing the communication and the dialogue with the patient to help them realize that they have a lot of power over getting their claim paid. The patient has all the power. The dental office has none of the power. None.
So let me take a stab at changing some of the communication here. I want you to grade me, okay, Lois? So patient.
Let's go, man.
And I'll tweak it.
Yeah, patient comes in. They need an all-on-4. Well, an all-on-4 is what the doctor wants to represent on the uppers. Mm-hmm. Patient comes in and doctor explained the treatment, and I'm the insurance coordinator. And then I sit down one-on-one with the patient, and the patient says, "Oh gosh, this is just way too expensive. Why can't dental insurance cover more of this?" And this is my response: well, the difference between dental insurance and medical insurance is this. Let's say you cut off all 5 fingers. You go into the ER and you present a medical insurance card. What do they do? Oh, the patient says, I think they sew back all 5 fingers right away. Yes, exactly. They do that. They put all 5 fingers back on, then they bill your medical insurance. Now let's rewind that situation. Let's say you cut off all 5 fingers, and you go into the ER, and you present a dental insurance card. What happens? Patient says, oh, good one. I think maybe they sew all 5 fingers on right away and deny claim. I don't know. Well, let me tell you what happens. You cut off all 5 fingers. You go to the ER. You present all severed fingers to your physician. You present the dental insurance card, and this is what happens. They let you pick which finger you want this year, and then next year they're going to sew on another one, and the year after that they're going to sew another one. So pick your poison. Which one do you want first?
So good.
So that's the difference between dental insurance and medical insurance. So how did I do, Lois? Lois, did I pass the test on case presentation?
No, you didn't. No, and I've worked with many oral surgeons who do a lot of all-on-4s, and I happen to know all-on-4s are upwards of $50,000.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're expensive.
$1,000 maximum, $50,000. That's a pretty simple conversation, and most people who are in to have an implant denture placed are seeking someone who's going to improve their quality of life, and the discussion points cannot be around insurance.
Yeah.
When you're talking about
I would imagine so.
Right?
Yeah.
But
that's the whole.
I have signage that I recommend they put all over their office. Ask about our flexible financial arrangements, because if you're offering high-end dentistry and you're a cosmetic dentistry, full restorative bread and butter dentistry, oral surgery, periodontal surgery, and you're not discussing flexible financial arrangements such as care credit, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot, because I don't know very many patients who just have $50,000 sitting around in their bank account. So you have to be prepared to have better financial discussions, and making sure that the person, the treatment coordinator who's having those financial discussions, is very well versed in the communication skills, and having those financial discussions and mixing in an amount of compassion with that is, obviously you can't do an all-on-4 one step at a time using, that would take you 50 years to use $50,000 coverage.
Yeah.
So that's not logical, right?
Right.
However,
I mean, you could get it done in 50 years. I mean,
and I will tell you, the people in dentistry, they could hold many seminars on how to have those financial discussions, because they're very used to it. They're very used to not letting insurance be the first part of the discussion. And that's the thing we have to learn in our industry, is we can't let just the fingernails on the chalkboard discussion of a patient's due for a full mouth survey, and the first thing that treatment coordinator does is go to the insurance website to see if it's covered. You know what? The brat response in me is don't care if it's covered. I care, but I'm not going to let that influence the recommendation of whether or not the patient needs it. If a patient needs bite wings every 3 months because they have a high susceptibility to decay, then it's going to be a math conversation with the patient. The design of your plan covers this once a year. Your condition benefits by having this 4 times a year because you have a high decay rate susceptibility. Maybe they have dry mouth due to a medication they're taking, or cancer treatments they're going through, which causes a high decay rate because of dry mouth. Well, then now you have a diagnostic reason, not an insurance reason, to take these x-rays or not. And that's the thing that you want the patient to stay informed about their benefits, but I want the patient to go to bat for their own selves. And that's what I teach.
yeah.
You know
Very
your stuff. I
Yeah.
gotta say that you
Very
definitely
good.
yeah. and this is to me one of the bigger areas of dentistry that many practices tend to neglect is how you say it, getting patients to own their benefits.
Yeah.
I love that.
I like that.
That's right. Yeah. It's always lovely talking with you guys.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. We
Get
love
me
you
all
on our
riled
show.
up.
Yeah.
You get me all
Yeah. So, Lois, if any of our audience listeners want to contact you because they love what they heard in the show today, what's the best way they can contact you?
They can email me at lois@bantaconsulting.com, LOIS@bantaconsulting.com. They can also go on my website. They can download my complimentary forms because of this webcast. You click on complimentary forms after you log on to bantaconsulting.com, and it's going to ask you for a username and a passcode. And the username and passcode are the same. It's my name spelled out and capitalized L, capitalized B, with no spaces. So it's capital LOIS, capital BANTA, no spaces. And that will allow them to download my complimentary forms. And that, I think, gives people a head start. If somebody wants my insurance analysis spreadsheet, I offer it complimentary. It's not on my website. Just email me. I don't put trackers on you. I just want to send you my free stuff. So if you want me to hire my services, call my office at 816-847-2055. Have a conversation with Julie, and she'll schedule a time to talk. That's complimentary, that first phone call.
Yeah. And are you taking
So cool.
Are you taking speaking requests too? Like if a group or convention that you haven't been to yet wants to reach out to you, they just send you an email or call you?
Absolutely. And my speaking calendar is available on my website. But if a study club or an organization wants to hire me to speak, I am happy to do it. If I could speak 365 days a year, I would absolutely totally do that. It's my favorite thing to do.
I'd be there with you because
So
having
cool.
these insurance discussions are it just creates so much passion, but they're so fun, resolving
they
these
are.
issues. And I
Well, I just think it's time for dentistry to take the power back of treatment acceptance and to not let insurance interfere. And we have such a scarcity mentality out there now that it's time to change that direction.
yeah,
I agree.
I agree with you. Well, Lois, it was a pleasure. This has been really fun
Yes.
and very enlightening, and you have so much knowledge. I feel like we can sit here for 10 hours and listen to wonderful, all the wisdom that you've imparted with us today. We just love your passion, and thanks for educating us today. This has been very, very fun.
I love your podcast, so I hope lots of people subscribe.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Lois. Hey, have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
Merry Christmas.
And all the other holidays.
Yes.
Happy Hanukkah to everybody out there who's celebrating Hanukkah, but mine's a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, Lois.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.